Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the HSBG podcast. I'm your host, Educated Collins. I'm here with my constant co-host, Shady Bunny. Shady, how you doing?
I'm all right, Collins. I'm all right. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. Definitely have some cool things to talk about, as we always do nowadays. Always things to talk about. First off, generally been a pretty interesting meta. Definitely anomalies shake things up quite a bit, so feels quite different. I feel from any other meta we've seen right with all the changes. Definitely feels like you're playing a lot of different games, even though some of them are kind of similar to each other. So pretty cool thing in there. But yeah, first thing we do want to talk about, just a quick little doodah, is the deck tracker. This is just something I want to get your thoughts on. The deck tracker has tried to disable the reconnect feature. So this is something that I guess a lot of high level players use, where sometimes if you don't want to watch a fight, you can just skip it. It ends up giving you more time to do fancy stuff. It really doesn't really matter too much for like casual players, but for high level players, right, having like 20 extra seconds, 30 extra seconds can be a big advantage. So just your thoughts on like this being disabled, and just your thoughts on the future at all.
Yeah, it's been a really weird thing throughout Battlegrounds history
Mm,
because this has always been around and it
mm,
used to be very relevant with Khadgar.
mm,
So to just give a quick overview, at high level, but really at any level, right, you can gain an advantage by skipping the fight because you'll get more time.
mm.
And specifically some turns, you just know if you had half an extra minute, you would win the game,
Right.
but you didn't, so now you die. That's very frustrating. Like Golden Brand very
Mm-hmm.
much does
Yeah.
that, right? Golden Brand, and then you roll like two Tempests and like Primal Fins. You're like, ah, no time, no time, no time, and then
There are some
yeah,
compositions that feel like you need the extra time. Like otherwise, it's not the same composition. Like you're not. It's not the same as like
mm,
here's
yeah,
90 seconds versus here's 60 seconds. Try to do the combo. So
for sure,
uh,
for sure.
it's definitely there are definitely some players that really love playing tons of stuff. Like pam pam pam. Here's all the things. Right. I've never really been the biggest like, oh, I need to play 20 cards, just like I'll play 10, but they're super impactful,
Yeah, there'll
or
be 10 real good
real
cards.
good cards, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely understand it, and it's interesting. I mean, obviously you can't like prevent people from fully not doing it, like even without this feature, like people can still
Yeah.
do it, right? But
So maybe we'll paint the landscape of what's possible, right? Where people used to just close the client,
yeah.
sort of like time it, right? Like let's say
Hmm.
20 seconds on the rope. But this is more when you know you have a big turn coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Because if you have big turn after big turn, you don't have the 20 seconds, right? You
Right.
like quit as your last second is like you position the board and then like quit and then
Right.
reconnect.
Right.
And that will save you some time. Then people started messing around with a firewall. So
Hmm.
they have a firewall rule that they enable disable, right? It blocks connection to Hearthstone, so you lose connection, and that goes much faster than closing and reopening the game because you'll just reconnect. It's kind of like disconnecting, and you won't have to reopen the game. So that is faster. And then like the pinnacle was the deck tracker button, which is literally hit the button. It's on your overlay, it's on your screen, it's right there. You just hit the button, like pretty much fail because the firewall thing, it was really like kind of needed to like it was an art to be like, all right, I'm gonna do it now and now it work because sometimes it wouldn't work and then your game would close anyway and you're like, ah, now I lost time. I need to go like open the game again, and if I just disconnect it'll be faster. So I used to disconnect a lot. Man, is that like almost 2 years ago? Maybe, yeah. Crazy, right? Time goes fast. But back then it was like really big hogger meta, right? Like
yeah.
you
Yeah.
had way fewer tribes. So like pirates were either in every game or like close to every game. So yeah, Hogger was all over the place. And with Hogger, that was sort of the key card of like, no, you like your turn won't end.
Hmm.
Like the only thing that ends your turn is the lack of time. You will never run out of cash. Once you had Golden Hogger, regular Hogger, like that was it. You just did not run out of cash. So, time was stats, literal translation there. Golden Bran and like Tethys are good, but yeah, Golden Hoggers was really the gold standard of
Hmm.
you will not run out of cash. I suppose the thing that comes closest right now is trumpets with Rock, where you have like 4 trumpets and then just make a bunch of elementals.
Yeah.
And that also translates to more time, more stats, pretty much guaranteed. Because once you have the 4 trumpets, so like the double golden, it's 4 elementals per 5 sold. So that means that if you like sell maybe 3 elementals that didn't come from the trumpets, that's 3 whole cycles you're getting for free, and they can make elemental, they can make tempest.
Yeah, it's
So
basically
like,
infinite. Like,
yeah, it is infinite, yeah, for sure. So, anyways, my take on that is that it's weird that it's not preventable, because I mean, I get it, right? Like, it's more from a rule-based point, because I don't like doing it as a streamer now that I still care about, obviously, about my performance, but it's not like the absolute most, because if it was, I would be disconnecting, of course, right? If my performance was the absolute highest priority. But I think you can do really well with never disconnecting.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
you play fewer.
I basically never.
Exactly. You were rank 1 NA multiple times, and you were not a disconnector. So it's main.
There were some like big moments, big turns. I would, to be fair,
Oh
like
my
if there was like I need all the time. There are some moments where I'd be like, yeah, let's just reconnect.
Right.
I remember like playing some games where I'm like, okay. I need to sit up. Let's disconnect the game. Come back. So like I used it a little bit. I'm not gonna be innocent here.
That's very honest of you. Well, I think every top player has done it at one point or another, if not to just try it, right? See what all the fuss is about. But yeah, my point is that you can get like top 25 in Europe. Like very easily, if you have the skills, right?
That very easily doesn't apply.
No. If you have the skills, right? So
sure.
I'm saying if it's okay. What I'm saying is if you're a top 25 player with disconnecting, yeah, it's not like you suddenly are trash if you can't disconnect anymore.
That's fair.
Right. So that's my point, is that it's not going to kick you out of the top 25. But if you are fighting for rank 1, if you're in the top 5, that one game where you could have had it, it could have made the difference. Yeah. So the basic story here is that I don't think it matters that much. I think for the most part, it's a quality of life thing. But I don't like having that button there because you just press it, right? I remember when I had the firewall thing set up, it was almost like I get like tilted and I was like, I don't want to watch the fucking fights. Like, I'm playing a beast comp or whatever, right? I'm literally gonna sit there for 70 seconds after doing my turn. I was like, just skip fight, just get me out.
It gets too easy. Like, and maybe that's the issue where it's allowing something that Blizzard doesn't really like too easy access, something like maybe with their
you're making like I think that's fair, because I mean, I think Blizzard would say, hey, this is against terms of service if it was enforceable. But there is always the issue of, hey, what if somebody legitimately loses their connection, which I mean, I
do all the time.
Yes, I was gonna say like multiple times a day. I legitimately lose connection to my game. So like, yeah, you can't really say, oh, UDC, it's you're out.
It's
a top 8, right? Yeah, eighth every time.
Dude, anytime I've DC'd and actually got an 8th, I'm just like, oh, like I'm done. Let me go.
So yeah, that's really rough.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, that's the basic take on it. It's not really preventable, but it's obviously not encouraged either, because it also takes a bit of the fun away, right? If you're just like, yeah.
All right. We've talked enough about this. Let's go on to the actual changes, the patch. First thing we do have is as well the new patch 27.4.1. I don't get the naming, but yeah, here we
the new anomaly patch. There we go.
First off, we do have a damage cap update, which I think is pretty interesting. So the damage cap now persists for all players until top 4. So what it used to happen is first person would die, damage cap off. Yeah, first person dies. Ooh, it's time for the crazy person, the winner, to just destroy someone. A lot of times what would happen is someone dies, floodgates open, people play super strong, and then the strongest person just kills off people until until the game's over. It just starts killing off, chopping people off because they're too strong. So now it persists all the way to top 4. It does mean that health matters a lot more, essentially, since you're not going to just instantly lose if you fight the wrong person, if you're healthy. So before, like, especially with some of the strategies now with like turn 7, you could take a lot of damage early, right? So now with this, even if you're above 16 and someone dies, you're still good. You're still good for a couple games or two. So I think this potentially helps a lot. I don't know balance wise how this changes the meta, because it definitely does. So that's really what needs to be discussed over time. But generally, like, this is an interesting, probably in the right direction. I mean, you could solve it by just making summons 1. Yeah, like, there are other ways, dude. This is like
not necessarily,
well,
right? There's a lot of fights where summons don't matter. But
sure,
yes,
I hear you.
I think it's a thing that it doesn't make sense. I hear you for sure.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it in. I agree with you. But I'm throwing it in. You could have done that. But yeah, this helps. This helps for sure. So I just wanted to talk about, what's your thoughts? Same thing, or
Fights? Yeah, games definitely go longer, which is very predictable.
I think
right?
that's something they've been trying to avoid, though, like making
Yeah.
games go a lot longer. So maybe that's why they've always been apprehensive on doing any changes like that.
I've been hesitant about this
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. I do want to say that the extension of a game where you're doing well is not that bad of a thing. So the damage cap only being top 4, I think what matters is if players aren't doing well and they feel kind of held hostage, where they either concede or they're gonna have to slug it out for another 3 turns.
You think people would concede? Nah, right? Like
at lower level, absolutely.
Maybe at lower level, yeah. But
Dude, I've seen so many screenshots of like little league lobbies with 4 people on turn 1. It's just like 4 people say I'm out.
Yeah.
Anomalies do encourage that, right? Because you do get to say, I don't like this one.
Like this
I'm a reroll.
Yeah, people don't do that with like minion types. They're like,
relax
your ass, I'm leaving.
Murghul is in. All right, maybe next one. Yeah. So overall, right, it feels good. I'll say that. The way how it changes things is exactly what you mentioned, where I was a Gallywix on 16 health once. And there's one person dead.
Oh no. And
you just get this feeling of like, okay, all right, let's fuck this lobby up, because I have an ice block. The feeling of having a protection in certain situations, right? Like if you have the golden brand, if you have the Tethys, like sometimes you're just in a spot where you're on like 18 health, 19 health, 16 health, and you have this like duo Drakari, and you're like, oh my god, if only I just could like 100% not die here.
This is good for me.
You it's that turn where you need to just live that turn, and then it's over.
There's so many games I'm like, as long as I don't take 20 here, I'm good. And then I take 20.
Yeah, because I mean, you can make a really like good setup where the entire board is ass, right? It's like Rylak with buffs and Drakari, and
that's me all the day.
So the entire board like should take 25 like on average, but knowing that it can, so that is a big change where you can. So
all the scaling heroes are a little bit better because you have.
I would also say in tier 7 lobbies or so, that's very relevant, where tier 7, like you can really like you can do stuff like Murkai Sanders. It's like Sanders makes golden, and then the Murkai end of turn makes your whole board golden with the Sanders. Like balance. Doing that, like balance. Like, but imagine having the 16 health, right? You're like, okay, 100% I'm alive next turn, and I'm about to make a golden brand and double golden Tethys. Let's go. Like, imagine that's the reality. You're like, okay, then you are definitely wanting to disconnect, by the way, because that turn's about to matter. But yeah, so that's the effect. So initially it doesn't really feel bad, but very possible to revise that opinion in like, maybe in a month or so, where people have gamed it, like there's
they're
this
really good at
optimal
it
way of
now.
playing.
Okay.
And then you're saying like yet another guy that couldn't die and greeted his ass off. Okay, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that becomes the case or not.
Yeah, that's super fair. Yeah. So the potential for abuse is there. It's just too early to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have a bunch of new anomalies. A lot of them. Like more than I thought. But yeah, first off, we will be talking about the Yogg-Seum. The Yogg-Seum. Which, yeah, big Yogg fan over here, so I could see this. But at the start of each turn, spin the wheel of Yogg-Saron. And the wheel is spun and one result is chosen for all players. So it's not like everyone gets individual results, because that would be like so unfair.
Yes. Completely ridiculous. Like shop buff 2 times at the start. Let's go.
Yeah,
Everyone else gets wrecked.
Yeah, so everyone gets it, but it's still this pretty RNG, right? Like there's a lot, like it does change the game in like all crazy ways. Yeah, so it's hard to really tell like if this feels good. Like you've played this, right? I assume.
Yeah. Okay. So Yogg-Seum, Blesser, Blighted, and Golgan's Tempest. The first 3 we're going to talk about, they're currently in the game. So those 3 I've played. The other I have not.
Right.
Yogg-Seum, for the most part, it feels like shop stuff becomes a lot better. So demon consuming, because you're buffing the shop.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. The really like the awkward thing with this one is when it makes a triple in your shop. And a lot of the time you want to freeze it, but then it might get eaten next turn.
You just take that risk, That's all.
I always end up taking the golden minions straight away, because like even if you have to hold it, right, I'm not leaving it in the shop.
Fair enough.
So overall I don't hate it. I think the one thing that really feels bad in this one is
the swapping the stats.
No, not even that one, because that kind of screws over other people too. It's the one.
I'm not the only one suffering.
Exactly, right. And honestly, if you're going like all in on a minion and you know that can happen, it's like, all right, well, you knew what you were doing, right?
Right.
The one that's really bad is the pyroblast thing, right? Where it like just pings.
Oh.
It's the one that buffs randomly 4/4 until it hits the bartender.
Yeah. Oh, because like that swings games so hard, I bet.
Yes. So I had a game where that was rolled twice and I got 1 buff twice. And then my next fight, I just see someone with this unholy board and I'm like, this procs 7, 8, 9, 15 times. Who knows, right? It was like, I was just taking 15 damage no matter what. And that one, I'm like, okay, you went through the trouble to make it as fair as possible with everybody spinning, getting the same result. Why leave this in? Because like theoretically you can get 20 buffs on turn 1. Right. It's like, and the game like you give a top player like basically a license of, hey, this is like 7 combats in a row you're not going to lose. Think you can win the game with that? It's like, I think I can. Thank you very much. Tier 6, here we come. So it's one of those things where you're like, that feels
maybe so that one wrong. Should be removed. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Don't have that as one of the options. Or if you have the technology, give an equal amount of buffs to board and shop. Maybe that's not fun enough anymore.
Even that one is like not balanced, right? Because like,
but at least
there's some more balance to it. But yeah, I'm down for removing it. Simple and efficient. Yeah,
it's. That one felt really bad when I was just like, because right, you get two 1
yeah. Someone else is getting lucky as hell.
Like, someone else is just going like ding. Oh yeah, keep going, ding, 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 ding. It's like buff the board, buff the board, buff the board. Okay, yeah. So that's Yogg for the most part. One other thing which is fine is the prizes, right? So this is prize meta all over again.
That was the one I thought you might have a problem with. That was the one I was like thinking, oh, it's a prize.
That's nothing compared to free stats, right? But yeah.
I hear you. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Blessed or Blighted. Start of combat, give your leftmost minion Divine Shield, and your rightmost minion Reborn. So, I'm pretty on this. I don't know. Does this feel problematic to you?
Wait, when you see this, right? what comes to mind where you're like,
Some
oh, this
reborn
minion?
abuse. It has to be, right?
Yeah. Like there's one play that makes so much sense based on this, right? So
There's one play, huh? Your left
right?
nose
So
is
yeah, I'll lay it
like
up for you,
taunted
right?
Leroy.
Yes, right?
Okay.
Because they have a big shield
Yeah.
that they put in position 1,
Yeah.
and you can reborn something and
Yeah.
taunt it.
Yeah.
So
Like,
you just
yeah,
have
I
a
mean,
taunted Leroy.
obviously you're gonna taunt Leroy, like put it in the back.
So it's so awkward when people will learn how to play this. You're like, I'm definitely not shielding my best minion here. It's
yeah,
just like,
you
fuck
just like
that.
it's a bait, right? You put
Yeah, yeah.
something throw in the front, right? But at least
But right now it's free because people don't do it yet, right? Like
right.
they haven't been hit with the stick enough, right? It's like, oh, shields on my 100, of course. And you're just like, thank you.
I see. So you're
So
cheesing people. Well, you're not cheesing, but like you are abusing your knowledge.
dude, when the patch notes dropped, I was just like, oh, this is taunted Leroy. It's like instantly I was like, taunted
Yeah,
Leroy,
I mean,
taunted Leroy.
that was my response too.
Of course. I think any high level player has like, oh, taunted Leroy, easy. So probably, which is again weird, right? And I don't know if you want to like curate the game this much, but I do feel like the whole idea
Make it
of the
second.
well, make like just ban Leroy in that one, I would say,
Oh,
or because they've taken Elise out in other
okay.
ones, right? Where
Okay.
they like we don't want because
Van Leroy changes the game. Like even that is its own anomaly.
yeah, there's no Leroy's, right? Yeah. Well, right now I think there's plenty of scam, which is coming
Okay.
from me, right? Like, but even I'm getting a little fed up with how much scam there is because
Right.
Murgle is so good. It's like, I guess I'll run 2 Murgles and 5 other things. It's like, in what comp? Any
Any
comp.
comp, yeah.
It's like I'm playing undead tokens, I'll play Murgle. I'm playing pirates, I'll play Murgle. I'm playing Murlocs, I'll play Murgle. I'm playing elementals, I'll play Murgle. Because why would you not want to have a poison minion that comes back and kills 2 things and can potentially like in undead comps? This thing sometimes reborns 3 or 4 times. It's so fucking disgusting, right? Like it kills a thing and then they don't hit it again, and then your hand procs and resummons the Murgle and just sitting there like Jesus. So whatever. TLDR for me is that Leroy just I feel like the essence of this one is like you want to have a big minion that you put a shield on and then you want to have them some reborn tech, but like the Leroy really just makes it well, you know, like you can't really do that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Not a big deal. And honestly, perhaps the mind game stuff here is just fun as well. Where like, do they have it? Do they not have it? Do I take the chance? Do I take a much lower shield value, etc.?
I'm just putting my minion second. Like, what? I don't care. I'm not.
Well, yeah, but then we're playing Reborn Leroy as well, right? So there's like that on its own is
What's the
also
chance
like
I hit Leroy twice, dude? Like,
no, not that, but you know how annoying it is when Enhanso rolled a Reborn Leroy, right? So
yeah,
this is the thing: when somebody rolls a Leroy, they roll 2 Leroys now.
right. I
Right,
see.
that's
It's
the
just
thing.
annoying. That you mean that
Yeah,
in
it's just
itself.
annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Fair
if
enough.
you don't have a Leroy, they have 2 Leroys and you don't have one.
Huh.
Okay.
Next one's interesting. Minions cost 2 gold. You cannot refresh the tavern. It refreshes after you buy a minion. Huh. That is so weird. So you have to always pick.
You always have to buy.
You always have to
And
buy something, and then
it
like you have to
freezes.
choose. It freezes. Oh, it
freezes
freezes.
end of
Oh,
turn, right? So like
okay.
you cannot get around the shop. Like
Oh, that's
you will not get rid
interesting.
of a shop until you buy something.
Huh. But also you can't buy 2. Is I think is also very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like that's something I immediately said like, oh man, I'm definitely going to kill a minion I didn't want to because I bought a Tad or something. It's like I'll just buy the Tads first. No.
Huh. But minions do cost 2, and everything else is the same, like leveling and stuff.
Oh, it's Giga APM. Anything's
Okay.
APM.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just think about it, right? You're Millhouse, but
Yeah.
you're rolling for free. Right? Like Scout is free. Sally is not in. I
This
think for this
requires a
one.
lot of thinking, doesn't it?
Actually, very little.
Very
It's just
little.
like
Okay.
your Millhouse, and it's just like buy good minion, right? So the easiest thing to do here is Bream, Bream counter and then just do stuff like Primal Fintad. Because like every turn is just full APM, right? The moment you have like Tethys,
so you're
or you have
okay. You're
Brand.
turning Brain off instead. Okay,
Yeah,
that
I'm just
makes
go,
sense.
go, go. Really, like
I'm trying to
once you have
optimize, and you're just like, no, just turn your brain off. Buy good minions. Buy Murlocs. Like sure.
Yeah, it's just like Primal Fins are free, Tads are
Are
free,
free.
Scouts are
Yeah,
free,
free, and you're
so
re-rolling, so it's all like
Coin Naga is free. It's just so much. So yeah, there's
Yeah, you've changed my
this
opinion.
is
I don't know. This seems toxic then. No?
yeah. So I played Omu in this, and that felt incredibly cheating.
Yeah.
Because minions cost 2 and Omu gets too many levels, right? So you just level by, level by, level by, level by. It's just level by all the way up. It's insane. Like I was so fast on tier 6. It's just level by, level by, level by, level by, level by. And then the shop gets refreshed, right? When you buy there. So then you see what you're getting next turn. So yeah, that was I was 4-on-4 as Omu with a board. Because it's level by.
Can you level turn 1?
No, right, but you're tier 1 on tier 1,
Right.
So
you
you
level
buy
2,
turn
3,
1.
4. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes
2, 3,
sense.
4.
Yeah.
And like you just have to hit like an economy unit here or there,
Yeah,
right?
then
and then
you're
that's
good. You're
free.
good to
And
go, yeah.
so
Sounds
yeah,
disgusting.
Omu
You
not
can
being
get
disabled
Gambler
in this
too,
one.
right? So yeah.
Yeah, you can get I think so. I'd like pirates might have like pirates are probably in. Yeah, there's one or two types like probably demon and elemental banned or something because they rely on Malkazar and Wraith and you can't roll. So they did try to make it like reasonable where you don't just have
reasonable.
like
I hear you. You're using that not jokingly. Okay.
well, if you get Wraith or Malkazar in an anomaly where you can't roll, it feels pretty bad, right?
Okay.
And taking those minions out would kill. Well, maybe not kill the type, but like really like playing. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like not being able to buff your boards because you can't deal damage to yourself with Malkazar would make for very sad demons.
Yeah. Well, those are interesting. The one that jumps out to me, I guess, would be the Yogg out of the 3. Like, oh, this one seems. But I'm Yogg biased probably, so makes sense.
Right.
The rest though aren't in the game yet.
Well, the description you gave of like I gotta go sit up now, right? That's basically when you get Golgan's Tempest, you're like, this is a sit up kind of game.
Yeah, this is a sit up game. Yeah, that's exactly like you're re-rolling for it's reconnecting for you. Here you go, refresh. Every game is like that. Yeah, so you do have to sit up. Yeah,
you do. Yeah, you go pretty fast because you don't have to like take your mouse to the reroll button. That helps for sure. It's just like buy.
Guess which? Okay, so these no one's played.
Yeah,
okay.
Those are in right now, and then now we're going to be talking about ones that aren't in the game yet.
Guess which player will win your next combat. If you're correct, get 3 gold. Ooh. I mean, so everyone's Barov, basically.
Well, no. Everyone's Barov, but it doesn't cost the gold, right?
Oh, so they're better than Barov. You're right.
That is on the house. So, I mean, this one.
I feel like this one's gonna feel so bad if you mess up like early.
Yes.
You're going to hate everything. You're like, no,
super dead. If you miss 3 times in a row, you're super dead.
Yeah, you're super dead. Yeah, and 3 gold is so much. That's so much to just have. And gold coins also synergize with some comps. Like Nogs and stuff like that. They love gold.
Yeah.
So there's a lot here that's just very particularly abusable if you're getting it right. So I could see this being like, oh man, Barov is, if you always get your bet right, Barov is like one of the best heroes of the game, if not like near the top.
So the I think the way you can sort of visualize this is just think back to your Barov games where you didn't miss. And
I always win. I know. I always win.
Of course. Yeah, I'm talking to the right guy here, right? So you've never missed a Barov bet in your life, right, Cons? So for you, Barov is always, you have these games where you're literally tier 6 on turn 6.
Yeah.
Like that happens.
Yeah.
Like if you win every bet, that's you're basically Omu, but you just get the coins always instead of only when you level.
Yeah.
But with this, it's better than Omu.
It's better than Omu. Yeah, I know.
Because you
It,
don't pay the gold.
it's better than
It's
Barov. You can also be
plus
playing
3.
Barov. Like, come on. Like, what is this? Like,
Barov is still disabled, but God, I hope he's enabled for this. Like, I hope they fix him in time because, like, I think he's crashing the game or something with his bets right now. But God, I hope Barov is back for
I
this
mean,
one.
Omu is still like, Omu is still pretty stupid.
Dude, being Omu with like just Caliwix, right? Caliwix with coins. Like, I don't know if it's like they do ban heroes for certain ones, so it's very possible that they don't enable Galliwix for this. But I mean, honestly, there's like half the anomalies are like, man, if Galliwix is enabled in this one, is pretty dumb. And yeah, some of them you can play Galliwix. So yeah, I mean, this is gonna be like giga
high roll,
greed, hyper leveling, super fast to high tier units.
The next one is interesting. After you upgrade the tower and discover a tier 1 Dark Moon prize, upgrades in 3 turns. You know what I instantly think? We're never leveling. We're never leveling.
We hold, baby. We hold. And then we go level,
yeah. But that's probably not safe.
Well, there's warrior curve, right? Double level. So
yeah, that's true. So you could get Dark Moon level 2 Dark Moon prize, which are not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I'm gonna throw out a little thing where warrior curve could make a comeback.
For this one. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, not gonna go deep into that one. Okay. After you win a combat, discover a minion of your tier.
We should probably also say the name right of the anomaly.
Oh, so. Gladiator Spoils. Gladiator Spoils. And well, okay, we're starting now. After you win a combat, discover a minion of your tier. Otherwise, get a random one of a tier lower. So winning's nice, but losing isn't horrible. You still get money. Okay, you get money either way, except if you win, you get to choose, and it's your tier. But you still get money even if you lose.
Yeah, you don't get completely screwed. But the way how I look at this is getting to discover a minion from your tier versus so the difference is
it's huge. It's a big difference. Yeah,
you discover an elite versus getting a cold light seer.
I hear you. I hear you. But I'm looking at it from like an economy standpoint. Like at least you're gonna get some money. Like because the issue with this I mean with anomalies like this is it's win more, right? Where okay, you're winning. Okay, you get a free thing. Okay, now you're winning. You continue winning, right? Because you're getting tons of stuff. And usually what happens is the loser gets like nothing, right? The loser gets nothing, so they're always going to continue losing because there's no way to recover. Here, you're not getting nothing. You're getting something. It's worse for sure, but it means like you still have an avenue to do something to come back. Like obviously, you're still going to be behind. It's going to be much better to be strong early, but at least it's not like okay, if you lose, you get nothing, right? And where it's like it's doomed.
I feel like the prize you're getting now is significant enough that it feels like that, though, where somebody's getting something when
okay, you win turn one, right? You win turn one.
Yeah.
You get a 1-drop, right? Your opponent also gets a 1-drop. So it's not like okay, then turn 2.
No, yeah.
Turn 2, right? You're probably still gonna level, right? It's not like you're gonna. Well, maybe. I mean, well, because you're gonna level because you want a 2-drop. So you're gonna level. Yeah, right. And it's not like okay, the person that lost turn 1 is doomed, right? Like it's like oh, he got a random 1-drop. Yeah,
no, but that's turn 1, right?
Okay, but like you can still recover, right? Turn 3, turn 4, right? Like the difference between getting discover a 2 versus getting a 1 is pretty bad. I'll agree, but it's not unrecoverable. I'm worried that like you've lost 2 combats and you're screwed, which sometimes it's like that in these type of lobbies where if you lose early, you're just like it's
right. You're talking turn 1, turn 2 though.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but like that's like the early game is where a lot of these things matter a lot. Like once you get into like once you have a composition, then like it could matter of course depending on your comp, but like if you're scaling 2020, it doesn't matter like whether you got something on you.
No, I was more thinking about like starting to win fights on tier 3, tier 4. And then the difference between winning there, it
Yeah,
sets you up
tier
for
3,
being
tier
able to
4 is
level to
probably the
5.
most important fight, right? Like so this is where you might have people staying on tier 3, but instead of leveling to straight to 4, like that. But then the question is like, do you want to do that? Wouldn't you rather have a 4 drop, right? Like so.
Yeah. No, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's an inherent RNG to the game with how good your shops are.
True. Okay, that's
And I
fair.
think anything that exacerbates that feels bad.
Okay.
Because now you're essentially saying, oh, you got great shops, good jobs, buddy. Here's like more money. Here's like more advantage. Like you rolled good shops, good shit, good jobs here. Keep winning.
I mean that is the game though. Your shops
Yeah.
dictate the
It's
game.
again, it's fine, and we don't want to be the fun police saying like, hey, this isn't balanced. It's just that like when I've had that in the past, like anything that exacerbates shop RNG, it feels bad when you're on the
The
downswing.
losing side, yeah.
Yeah, like that feels bad when like you roll bad shops and you don't really. So essentially, think back buddy meta when you couldn't go 3-on-3. Like you get bad shops, it feels so bad because you're losing the fight and like you're not getting enough buddy meter and like you're gonna be late and it's not gonna be fun. Here, I can see 3-on-3 because you would get a random 2, and then you lose again the turn after, you get another random 2. It's like fine, right? So we'll have to see like how the
What if you
curves
just
work
hyper
out.
level with this?
I was thinking like 4-on-4, but then well, first of all, you need. Well, I guess you have cash, right? You
You
would
get
get
money. You
4-on-4.
get money, so you just
So you
hyper
have the
level.
cash, but you get a random 3 then, right? And you take a lot of damage, and you don't win your first fight on 4 either. So it's I guess if your shops are trash, right? It's like I think that's the rule for 4-on-4. Like only in case of trash shops.
It's interesting, right? Because like the downside is like you're probably people are also going to be way stronger, so you have to roll the nuts, right? So you have to look at the tier 4 options and say, oh, is there a giga nuts that will recover like me not having anything, which some 4 drops could do that, but not a lot of them. So yeah, it's interesting. I do see what you're saying in terms of like I just see them initially. What this was initially was after you win a combat, discover a mini of your tier. That was what it was originally, and then they're
And they're
like,
like, oh
oh
yeah.
wait, the person who wins the first match always wins. So then they added otherwise get a random mini of your tier lower. Like I feel like that was the iteration process in this particular anomaly, and I'm happy they went there before we had to play test and be like, you know what, this one sucks. The first winner always wins, and then they add the second part. So I'm just like, yay, they added the second part before we had to play test it for them, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I
think
see what
that's
you're
fair.
saying.
Okay.
Shackles of the Primus. After each combat, remove your warband. Huh? Wait, there's more. There's more, chat. At the start of your turn, triple your gold. Whoa, what is that? What?
That's the craziest one they've put forth so far.
So no scaling. This is cheese the whole time. We're scamming the whole time. But then again, if you know your opponents are doing that, then doesn't matter either because you just play. So this is I guess you need undead. Undead, right? Undead is the line. That's the line here.
Undead carry over,
Yeah, yeah.
Nomi carries over, and you could hypothetically base skill, right? You could keep cards in your hand.
Oh.
And then like roll for
There
base
are
skill
some
every turn.
strategies. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
some stuff
hearing you.
here.
I'm hearing you. Yeah, you need persistent fight strategies. Which is different. This is different. I like this. I'm actually now that we think about this. Unless I don't get the cards I want, then I don't like it. But yeah.
Then it's terrible. But if I have high roll, it's
if
good.
I high roll, yeah, I'm liking this.
What I can sort of see happening here is you hold a lot of cards.
How can you play Nomi though? You can't play Nomi; it disappears.
What? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you can so let's say 10 gold, right?
Wait,
That's 30.
Yeah.
So you have 30 gold to
Mm,
build a board.
mm.
You can hold cards in your hand. So say like this turn on Beast,
Right.
and then your hand is
It's
like
Milne stuff.
trumpets and
Oh,
shit.
oh.
And then like the turn
Oh,
after
then the
you
turn you
pop off.
pop off. Yeah.
So like because the cards in your hand don't go away. So you
True.
can build a pop off turn in your hand. You can like have a brand ready and that's the disconnect turn if you're gonna do it, and then you just pop off,
And then you have to do
and then
that
you get a lot
every
of buffs.
turn.
Well, not this like with Nomi the shop buff sticks, right? So
Right,
you
right.
would play, so you would just buy every elemental from them.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that's a potential strategy that could happen where you
This is
just
interesting.
tempo.
That one is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely something I want to play, and we'll see how he goes. But
Yeah.
I do predict the like holding cards in the hand and then pop off turn. That's gonna be a thing.
Yeah. I agree with that. Huh. That one's interesting. All right. Next one we have Summoning of Champions. At the start of the game, all players discover a tier 6 menu from the same choices. You're gonna laugh at everyone who doesn't pick what you choose. What, this guy chose that? Like unless they beat you.
Yeah. This like you pick something and then you inspect everyone else and they all have like Tethys, and you're like, maybe it was Tethys.
Nah. You have the
have,
right idea. They're all wrong. Everyone else,
yeah.
the kids, they're wrong. Am I the one incorrect? No.
Like, no, it's the kids that are out of touch.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that one's interesting. It's funny. It's funny though. Early, unless it's broken.
Yeah. Yeah, the issue with this is I think it makes your shop and hero RNG like
Really high.
so
Yeah.
important.
Mhm.
Because again, right, like Millhouse Galley with economy is not the same as other people with economy. Let's say Sister is the option and your shop is 2 Risen Riders, you're like, heck, and other people don't roll undead for 4 turns or whatever. So we'll see. This one feels like it has the potential to be like, I really don't want to be too much of a downer. I think overall anomalies are great. I think it's been super fun. I think it's been amazing that they took all these chances. So I think it's normal that some of them are not going to be as good as others. And the issue I can see with this one is that it's a lot of hero and shop RNG that again gets more, it gets exacerbated because of that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much RNG in this game that you sometimes have to control, right? Like it's hard to be like,
Yes.
but my RNG, like, yeah, like, how do you play this game? You say that every fight, every roll, every fight, every RNG, every minion types that are in, every hero selection.
For sure. No,
It gets too much.
I do want to like point out like it's not chess, right? Like if you want chess, go play chess. So this is absolutely part of the game. We want to have that discrepancy between good minions, bad minions, the feeling of, oh, I hit, or just the fact of I'm making the most out of my bad luck. I'm making the most out of my good luck. It's just like at some point you do need to indeed be careful.
You have to be careful. You can't be like, oh, it's RNG. Let's just add every RNG into everything, and it's just like
more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. That's fair.
But I haven't even played the mode. This one, right?
Of course.
For all I know, I'm just like, yeah, it's not so bad. Like shop RNG, I was afraid of. It's not so bad, but that's right now the thing I have in my mind.
Next one is called Curse. This is why I didn't want to pronounce them because I don't know how to pronounce. Curse of Agramar.
Yeah, Agramar. Good.
Agramar. Okay. Start at 5 health and 5 gold. So we're dead. Oh wait, there's more. Your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. So you basically this is, I'm calling it now. This is going to become the new permanent armor strategy.
Wait, what do you mean?
This is every hero is gonna have this function. This is gonna be the new armor health reality of the game, where you just start at 5 health and you're like, oh,
you're saying like 1 year from now, this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing. This is the baseline. Yep.
Interesting. So you just have X amount of fights you can lose.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how badly you lost it. You like, let's say like we make
that sounds broken. I hear you. When you put it like that.
Like, doesn't matter how badly it is. Okay, I can work with that.
I can work with that. Yeah, this one's interesting for sure because you start at 5 gold, which is definitely important in terms of you can just level if you want, or you could because I think level 1 and then double buy 2 drops on 2 is probably pretty good.
Yeah, we theory crafted this a little bit on my stream. The issue with that is you do lose turn 1 and turn 2, right? That's 40% of your health gone.
Do you lose
level
turn
on
2?
one. Yeah, right. You so let's okay. So assuming that your opponent wants to double buy,
Yeah.
right? Which means they hit economy or it's like Zarella or something, right?
Well, if you start economy, then you stay on 1.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's say you don't,
Okay.
and then you tier, like it feels so bad, right? Because
I see.
let's say you hit, so that turn you lose, right?
Right,
Always,
yeah.
because you have no board.
Yeah.
And then the turn after that, you hit someone that went economy and
Yeah,
stayed
you
on
also
one.
lose.
So
Yeah.
so that's 40% of your health gone on turn 2.
But then you get a 2 drop. Like that's crazy
Then
value.
you pop off, baby. You pop off with
You get a 2 drop. It's insane. Yeah, I hear you. That's
So,
fair. Okay, that's so I guess
yeah.
other players are gonna force you to not. I guess the one thing is if you see someone level then you have the choice to level with them, and then at least you're only losing 1 fight in a lot of cases, maybe more, but yeah, some people are just gonna die. I see what you're saying. You could die turn 5, right? It's like
that
will happen to people.
Turn 6, people will die almost for sure.
Yeah.
So
all right, this is not gonna be a standard.
It's a scary one.
Yeah, it's too RNG.
I mean, again, right? It's heavy hero and shop RNG. Like if you're Terran, if you're like what is good at winning, right? You can have Terran, you can have Cyrella having the 5 gold on turn 1.
Omu.
You can have
everyone is Omu.
Omu, yeah, stuff like that. So well, Omu doesn't work though, right? You level on 1.
Millhouse, dude. Millhouse is so strong in this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Millhouse is going to be allowed here, but just imagine Millhouse starts with a Sally, right? That's 3 minions on turn 1.
Turn 1, yeah. And then turn 2, you get 3 more minions.
I don't think he's allowed in this one. I'm not sure. That would be really big.
I love it how Millhouse is like, you're broken in half of these modes.
Yeah, Millhouse and Gallywix is like, there's some stuff that comes to the surface when you're like, you know what, these heroes, maybe they're nuts. Fundamentally sound. Yeah. If we can't have them in like half the anomalies. Yeah, so I think anything that like I don't like, everything's on fire. I don't like Blood of Sargeras where you have permanent 12 health. And I predict I probably won't like this one either. Because you're creating less margin for error.
Yeah.
And error in this case is less margin for bad shop. Let's be honest. Yeah, less margin for bad shop. It's like
it's too early where your skill can really take hold of a game.
Like you can't really outskill somebody rolling 2 Surats, and you don't. It's like, okay, what do I do against that?
Yeah, that's super true. Yeah, sometimes you need time to like showcase like,
be able to level.
Yeah, and you don't get to do that.
But again, haven't played it yet. We'll see. Maybe there is
we can bash on a mode before we've played it. Yeah,
of course. We're critics or we review or what else. Like, but the just being fair, like I don't have it in my head completely. Like where the break point is, right? Like where do you get punished for staying on 1? Where is that a bad strategy? Like, do you like maybe the tier 1 guys, like they always die first? Could be, right? Because like they don't catch up fast enough. So we'll have to see exactly what the optimal strategy will be.
I believe that. And they also like the triples are the same. So if they're just staying on 1, they're just buying all the pairs. Like they're gonna be fine.
Triple into a 3, get the Flecto, and still win. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Next up, we have Reckless Enhancement. Minions in the tavern each randomly gain Taunt, Wind Fury, Divine Shield, or Reborn. Okay, so this is a hero, but with for everybody.
It's different, right? Read it again.
Minions in the tavern each randomly gain taunt. I mean, it's a hero, but for every minion.
Yeah. So like every shop is the nuts.
Every shop is the nuts. Yeah. Well, I mean, Divine Shield Reborn are broken, right? Like
Yeah,
given randomly to like this is gonna be a very like RNG
Leroy
centric, yeah, one where it's
reborn on
like
the Raptor. Yeah.
yeah, like oh, you got Reborn and Divine Shield on these two core cards. I guess you're winning. So I can definitely see this being like frustrating to play because you can't really balance like, oh, this guy got double reborn Leroy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like what am I supposed to do here? Like, you know, and, like there's a lot of reborn. There's a lot of cards that should never get the chance
Should
to
never
have
have reborn.
reborn like
Yeah.
at all. You know, so like just having this potential is like yeah, that's off balance, right? And the problem is also like some of these suck. Like giving something taunt, like no one cares. Giving something win free, that might matter, but like it's not a lot of times not matter. Not and putting giving something divine shit. Oh, now we're talking giving something reborn. Oh, you know, you fall out of your chair. So it's a little bit, you know, where sometimes you just roll and you're like, man, my card didn't get reborn. Man, this guy it feels really bad. So.
Was that a Vince McMahon like thing where you get the reborn and he's like,
Yes,
oh,
yes, it was. Even though I,
that was great. That was great.
uh,
Okay. I just can't wait for like the turn one and you see like the dunk 3 taunts. You're like, oh, great. I guess I'm losing turn one.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, the first shop's gonna be RNG. Like, oh, I got divine shit rerun. All right, let's go. You know. But yeah, definitely that one fits my criteria of RNG imbalance for sure. So
It's but again, like, at the end of the day, I did try to check myself where it's not like, well, this adds RNG, so I don't like it, right? I do try to not
I
be
like
too
that
much. But
strategy.
yeah,
I don't like
it
all of
is
them.
it's like anything that adds RNG, I hate it. Uh I want to go back to buying menaces and rolling for junk pot. Yeah, those are
No,
the days.
I'm good. Oh,
So we'll see. I mean, it is absolutely gonna create illegal boards, right?
mm.
Things that shouldn't exist, like you said. So we shall
N-
see. We shall see.
Next up, we have Tavern Special. So all minion types are in the tavern. That's already like that's already. I guess the next one isn't that. It always has 7 minions. That one's fine. All minion types are in the tavern is gonna be really hard to get what you want, right? That would
Yeah.
be my concern.
The always 7 minions, it's pretty much there to just offset that, right?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just
It's
trying
like it's
to
not that important. I would say. Uh,
yeah, it's I mean that's an anomaly on its own. The packed stance, that's what it's called, right? Everything always has 7. And you just hit a lot easier, and your tier 1 triples and shits
not with every
very
minion
easy.
type in the tavern. You know,
Yeah,
like.
I want to say, right, that just change it. So if you have every minion type in the tavern, you have twice as many
Mhm.
plus neutrals, right?
Yeah.
Neutrals are always in, so it's not quite twice as many minions, but you know we could think about it roughly that way. So on tier 4, if you go from 4 to 7, and you account that neutrals are in, so it's not quite twice as many, I think it offsets it still pretty well, where you still have, you know, you're still going to have more variance because you just have more possible results due to more cards being in the game. But I don't think it's going to be as bad. But yeah, the main argument against why you shouldn't have all types in is like good luck hitting a triple. Like that's so hard.
Yeah.
So with the 7 cards in every tavern, I think for the most part it's going to be okay. I'm not sure if I'm really going to be excited about the anomaly because
No, I don't. It's not like it doesn't do anything different,
yeah,
right? This could be
that's
one
see,
that.
that's the problem, right? Because I also want to be fair. We can't be like, well, this changes the game. I don't like it. More RNG. Oh, this doesn't change the game. Oh, it's boring. So
But that's
we do
that's
want to
how it
be
is, right? Like that's how it is. It has to change the
well.
game, be balanced
I,
and interesting, and not
absolutely,
be broken. You know. And
absolutely.
if you give me all those criteria, it's check mark. Now,
And I
have you
think
done
there's
that
a
with
couple
every
of
anomaly?
really good
No,
ones.
I'm mad. You know, like.
Like the Tempest one that turns everything into APM. I think that one's generally just fun. I think that's good.
Yeah, that one
Uh,
is interesting. Yeah.
and there's absolutely a couple anomalies running around right now as well that I just love as well. Like I think tier 7 anomaly was fantastic.
Mhm.
Like the 10 extra armor, the cards they made, fantastic. So like it took me a little while, right? I had to warm up to it, but once I started understanding the leveling pattern, right? Like when to push, when to greed, So they've absolutely made some anomalies that are fantastic. So, but yeah, it is difficult, right? Because for the most part, you're gonna have, it's not impactful enough, or it's too much RNG. Because like it's really, if you're gonna change the game
you
in
gotta
such a
get into the balance, like that small window of like, yeah, this
the
hits
sweet spot
yeah,
of we're playing with more resources, but it doesn't feel like too crazy.
yeah, like that. It just auto lose because of the shop RNG or something.
Yeah, like Big League is a great example, in my opinion, of an awful anomaly where the idea, right, is like, hey, what if we just take small minions out of the game? But so Big League, you start on Tavern Tier 3.
Yeah.
And only 3 drops and above are in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is turn 1, Demons In, by the way, makes this even more ridiculous because you can buy the health demon for free. Well, for health, but it's basically free. So turn 1, you can take 9 damage. Or more, but let's say a reasonable bad fight is my opponent had a good 3-drop, like let's say Deflecto, and then the 3/3 demon. The Deflecto value trades my shitty 3-drop that I had to buy. I take 9 on turn 1. I think like that's an example of, in my opinion, a bad anomaly, because like you have almost no agency like early game.
Turn 1.
Like you can easily lose 25 health
before you get
started while playing optimal.
Yeah.
Like you could play optimal and be down 25 health. It's preposterous, right? So like, yeah, that to me is something that doesn't work. But again, right, like tier 7 on the other hand, fantastic. Like I love that one.
Yeah. Super fair. So yeah, Tavern. Going back to Tavern Special, we'll have to see if it feels interesting, but it's one that I could definitely see being adjusted or removed if the excitement just isn't there, and they've been doing that, so I think that's fine.
Yes, super responsive in making certain anomalies appear more or less often. So again, right, there's a lot of criticism, but I do want to keep it fair. I think for the most part they're handling it super well.
And then the last one we have here is Eonar's Overgrown Arena. Thank you, Shady. At the start of the game, give minions in the tavern +1/+1 for the rest of the game. At the start of your turn, give minions in the tavern +1/+1 for the rest of the game. So eventually, your minions in the tavern would just get huge. So demons seem pretty good in that type of meta, where and things. Their divine shields also generally cleaves should be. Well, cleaves are harder because you're not going to buff.
I believe I'd have to check the Twitter thread again, but I believe no mech, no demon.
Yeah, because of magnetize.
Like
okay, that's fair. Okay. That's fair. That's super fair. Because you would just play those. I mean, that would be me. I'd just play those.
It'd be very, very lopsided. But like, did I hit magnetic or not? Did I hit demons or not?
I agree with that. Okay. With that in mind, I mean, that makes things interesting as well. It means like it's not super broken where you can't like abuse. I mean, there's probably things you can still abuse, but you're not gonna like easy demon eat, easy magnetic spam, that kind of stuff. Is not
So I have the confirmation. Also, no dragons because the demon dragon that consumes the shop.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That would be also crazy. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So we thought about this, like what does benefit the most? It's pirate cleave, right? Something with a shield, so Cobor shield or whatever is left.
What I was thinking too.
Yeah. And something like Selfless also tends to perform better when everything gets bigger.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Selfless.
They have like a bigger Selfless. So
what if Beast would do anything?
Yeah. So if you have a Murloc Beast game, you can put a big Beast in your hand and play Banana and pull it with base skill.
Yeah,
that's a big advantage. Yeah. And even without the Murlocs, you can go with the 3-drop Beast that automatically gets pulled.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. So let's say you're buying that at a 9/9 or a 10/10, and you play double banana, that's a 40/40.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
So and anything that enhances the scaling,
like
much better.
I agree with that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's on the house, guys. Play banana with this one. Probably gonna be pretty good.
Probably really good. And we have a couple updates to some anomalies as well. A fair reward anomaly now upgrades every 5 turns instead of 4 and appears less frequently. So maybe too toxic, I guess. And 5 turns is the
It was really, really dumb where we got to a point where, like at high MMR, every single player was staying on tier 1 to farm triples. No exception.
Hey,
Everyone.
that's what I suggested. Hey, I'm telling you. See, I was reading the meta.
But like they got so good at it that like, do you know what like the biggest like pop off
I
is
didn't.
you do?
No, go
So
me.
Braggart when it's golden interacts with Bran. So what you try to do is you farm Bran's blessing by doing by you popping the prize that discovers from the previous tiers. And Bran's blessing is in there, right? So you just do that one. Then you hold Bran's blessing. And then you pop that on the turn where you go golden braggarts. So you just have this really big turn where the golden braggarts are double. And then because it's like you get very, very, very big very fast. So you can't really win without doing like the Bran abuse, golden braggarts, Bran abuse. So it got very, very toxic where you'd have to leverage your ice block and really like get it right where you have to like maximum greed. It's you get to the like whatever billion stats it is where you can cap out. People would cap, and it's like how many max minions, how many max stat minions do you have versus how many max stat minions does your opponent have? And it's like I played Silas in that anomaly. It was so broken because you just discover 1-drops and triple like it's like hyper tripling. Like the best mid game I had was having double Tethys on tier 1. Because there's only 2 different tier 1 pirates, so the Tethys are like tripling like crazy and printing Dark Moon prizes. It was so not healthy at all. So I do like that they're nerfing it, where if you have to you have to hold it for an additional 2 turns when it comes to the early pop, right?
Yeah.
So you're popping for tier 6s.
Yeah.
So that was what was that? Turn 8? Yeah, I think turn 8, I think.
Now turn 10 is significantly longer.
That's much longer. Yeah. Like you technically be dead before you even get to try for an ice block. So I hope that whenever we get this, the meta now is to just level play normal. Because I mean, I think that a fair reward is actually really good design in terms of like playing a normal game, but and then having
not that
reward.
Fair of a reward at the highest levels.
Well, once you game the system and you say it's always stay on tier 1, then the game becomes boring. So I think if they indeed can break that meta and say, okay, level now, you'll be able to kill the people that stay on 1. Like I don't even know for sure. I'm assuming that's the case now, but we don't know. I haven't had it yet. Like it could be that like the tier 1 guy still wins.
Well, I mean, what can you do at that point, right? Like,
yeah, it's like all right, whatever. Like next patch, we ban the fair reward.
Yeah. If it still works, then I don't know. But yeah. And then piloted Wheelotron Sneed's buddy has been removed from the Bring in the Buddies anomaly. This one makes sense as well. Card synergy was too crazy with what you could be doing.
I will say that I think here they dropped the ball a little bit by not banning the secret buddy.
I knew you were gonna be like, there was more buddies.
Well, I mean, every single game at high MMR, for at least that I've been in, the winning board is just secret buddies. So what you do is you do secret buddy and you scale it with boogie monster, so it doesn't like, because if you have a bunch of them on 3 HP, you just blast her and it's a non-factor, right? They all dead. So the moment you make that not an option, like because they introduced reckoning as a secret, you have to imagine that one golden secret buddy very likely goes 1 for 2. Right. Because you make the Cobra, you make the Cobra.
It's even more than that, right? Because
probably more. Probably more because you do splitting image and then it makes more of the other secret guy, and it's like absolutely dumb. So yes, Whirlotron was dumb because it would make more secret buddies, but once you have Bran, and so you remember friend of a friend, right? That's
Yeah.
craziness. It was just Bran, get Bran, get Bran, get Bran, and that was not just because friend of a friend was battle cry. That's because a lot of other buddies are also battle cry. So Zephyrus is a battle cry, Thalen is a battle cry. You go crazy infinite with that shit. So once you have the Bran, it's really not that hard to still make 4 or 5 golden secret buddies because the Nozoth buddy makes a death rattle golden. So you can throw that on the secret guy. And the talent scout also makes a buddy golden. So you don't have to roll a shit ton of them. Like rolling 4 secret buddies is enough, and it's a 3-drop. So very, very likely you get that. There is one thing that I haven't tested yet, but somebody told me that I want to try. So the Nazoth buddy makes a death rattle golden, yeah?
Yeah.
The new Naga crab gives something a death rattle.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
can
you
force anything to be golden. Oh.
you could give your Tethys death rattle and then make it golden.
Huh.
Like, I haven't tried it yet, so I can't confirm it works, but it kind of makes sense, right? You
Yeah, it
can
makes
give something a
sense.
death rattle
Yeah.
and then so golden brand with that shit, right? Like that would be pretty funny. Yeah, basically Sanders. So I want to try it. I want to put the death rattle on my brand and then use the Nazoth buddy. It should be really fun. That's a great YouTube video. Like, bam.
Shady's like, yes, I see the title.
That's YouTube money. Let's go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
pretty cool.
I would say overall good idea with removing the Sneed buddy, but I think just little missed opportunity not to just throw the secret buddy in there as well.
That makes sense, yeah. And Secret Buddy's been like not under the radar, but like it got a huge buff with like the secret changes, and it's not really been adjusted.
Reckoning is dumb.
Yeah,
it's so dumb. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you, Shitty.
All right.
And then we have some new Battlegrounds cosmetics. Woo!
Yeah, we're not really big on cosmetics, but hey, for the cosmetic enjoyers.
Yeah, I like the inclusion. Why not? Good on Roberta.
Yeah, I mean more opportunities, more options.
Yeah.
It's pretty much always better for that. Absolutely.
And then we also have some get hotfix, I guess.
Yeah, they're not super relevant.
What? They're insane. Hearthstone updates. Da. Unimaginable horror, new hero power, and twist reality shuffle cards played back into deck. Anomalies have been removed from the anomaly pool. That's not Battlegrounds. Who cares about that? Yeah, I was like, what is that? New hero power. The following anomalies will appear less frequently. Anti-gravity stadium, might of Kazgoroth, fortitude of Kazgoroth. I'm pronouncing that wrong. Can you do this?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so essentially the one that matters here. So we weren't really getting anti-gravity stadium, might of Kazgoroth, fortitude of Kazgoroth. So I think that those are mainly for lower MMR that they're now being less frequent because I think they already had the penalty for high MMR.
Right.
Blood of Sargeras, Little League, and Wisdom of Ulduar we were seeing somewhat frequently. So I think those are. Well, I mean, I'm pretending like it doesn't matter because I'm not like it matters for a large part of the player base, right? So yes, I think Anti-Gravity Stadium, Might of Kazgoroth, Fortitude of Kazgoroth are not so fun. So those are ones that don't really change the game that much. And like Fortitude and Might, I think are just a bit tedious because you like have to put something first and last and buff and etc. So yeah, that's for everyone. We get less of that, but for higher MMR, it's less blood, less well, for everyone, but higher MMR also gets affected by this. I guess what I'm trying to say. And that thing that's good because Blood of Sargeras is the one where you have 12 always, and that really sucks. Little League, a lot of the time, a lot of people don't like it because you have very few strategies. And Wisdom of Ulduar is also one that doesn't really change the game that much. It's like once every 3 turns, you get a 15-15. That's the whole anomaly. All right. Cool, I guess. Sometimes a buff a cleave. We also have following anomalies will appear more.
What about Finicky Hourglass? You didn't mention that at all.
Oh,
at higher ranks only.
Less frequently. Okay, sure. So I don't love Hourglass.
Okay.
Don't 100% hate it either because I don't think it makes the game worse.
Okay.
So that's correct. I didn't say that. That's for only higher ranks, so I guess that's an okay anomaly, like from what they've seen, or their judgment, I guess, is overall an okay anomaly. Then that was less frequent. More frequent, we have false idols, which is 2 copies needed to make a golden card. But if you triple, it turns into a coin, not a discovery. So golden cards are much more accessible, but you don't get triples. So
I think that
stuff
one's
like Bream
cool.
Counter.
Yeah.
Bream Counter's like so dumb in this, right? Because you like make golden Bream Counter, make golden base skill super easily. Transient treasures at lower ranks only. Great. Okay, this is all lower ranks. Because so transient treasures, you get the quest reward every turn, right? It's like the ethereal evidence. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
You get to choose from the rewards. It's super giga RNG, right? Red Hand turn 1, Zerus turn 1, absolutely so dumb. Like you cannot fight someone who got like Zerus into Red Hand or whatever. Like there's no way. So I like that, you get more of that at lower MMR, where I do think there is more the culture of let's just have fun, let's just try to get something crazy. And this is absolutely that. You pick this, you low roll, you're out. Whatever, you don't care that much. You hit it, you're like, it's super fun. Like I've been on the good and the bad end from this one, and if you're on the good end, it's super fun because you're just like popping off. Bring in the buddies we talked about quite at length just now. I'm probably okay with this only having a boost at lower rank, just because Secret Guy is still the prevalent strategy and it's not so much fun. And then Finicky Hourglass getting a boost. Oh, okay. Interesting. For lower ranks only. All right. So, yeah, they're all about the Hourglass.
Oh.
And then there's some hero bans for anomalies, but let me see if there's anything.
Yeah.
So I think the one that's relevant here is Queen Ajara for Wisdom of Ulduar, because I played that one time and it was batshit crazy broken, which makes sense because you get a 15/15 on turn 3 and your whole hero power, you need 25 attack. So that was a turn 4 hero power for me. That was pretty good. I was like, let's just win the game, lol. I had so many zesties that game. It was insane. Overseer's Orb. Okay. Okay, so
a lot of
no,
economy stuff.
yeah, Togwaggle I get, right? You hero power a whole good shop. That's a bit too much. Lich maybe a bit too good. Millhouse a bit too good.
These probably just have
Patches.
insane stats. I mean, that would be my thoughts why it's like
Well,
this.
some of them, yeah, like Patches makes total sense, right? Force pirates in the shop. Wee, force pirates in the shop. Wee, force pirates. Like every turn is like wee.
Yeah.
All pirates. So Patches I get. Millhouse I get. Lich I get. Then Togwaggle I get. Eudora I don't get. Like, how does Eudora suddenly go crazy when you refresh with your type?
I don't know, dude. They just look at the stats and press the button, Shady. I don't know. You tell
Eudora
me.
had too much armor or something. I don't know. Yeah, like the Eudora one, I can't see it straight away. Anyways, Blood of Sargeras. That's 12 health. No Arana, no Galakron, no Queen. Okay, whatever, I suppose. Mimiron's Clockwork Stadium, no Secret Guy, no Gallywix. I really have to think about like what the hell is Secret Guy doing there? I guess the curve is a bit weird and like you can fill it with one, but that feels so arbitrary. Like then Rafam is a problem as well, right? Gallywix I get. Gallywix banned from every single anomaly is probably correct. So I think it's okay. Path of the Treasure Seeker. No more Cthulhu. No Lich. Lich I get, right? You can buy the monkey too easily. Nosdormu I get. That's too good. You roll for free.
Varden. Can Varden copy the monkey?
If you stay on one, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's something. I don't know.
Stay on one for our monkeys. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
There's
a few of these.
There's a potential.
So I'm gonna skip over a lot of them,
Yeah,
and
just
I'm just
skip them.
gonna go into the ones. Yeah. So Blessed or Blighted Terran, yes, because what you would do is you would get reborn on a thing and then eat it with Terran. That's super dumb. So that absolutely. Big League, no more Omu makes total sense. Super toxic. You get early levels, you get tier 4 drops and dunk everyone. Murloc Holmes, you get extra cash, which is really good in that one as well. So fair. And that's the only things that I think make sense. The rest is like, stuff that I don't automatically see why it matters.
Sounds good. And then we have a bunch of bug fixes.
Yeah, but that's like Hearthstone.
S's of Zeros has been removed from the quest pool. That's kind of important.
Oh, you're right. Okay. That's important. So when you have the transient treasures one, it's basically just red hands. That's like the Giga Nuts early. Because it was Zerus or red hands they were really trying to get.
Really showing for,
Yeah, like turn 1 Zerus or red hands. Like totally warps your game.
Yeah, so. Ha! Patch fixes matter sometimes.
Yep, yeah, that's true. You spotted that. Good spot.
That's a big one. Actually.
It was a big one. Yeah, it was fun. It was good to catch up. Yeah, sorry guys, we missed last week. There was a lot of stuff going on for me. Not Colin's fault. I had to push it back 1 week.
Is it ever my fault? Yes.
I guess we better off not answering any questions.
I'm innocent. All right, fair enough. But yeah, that's what we have for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You send us feedback at HSBG Podcast at Gmail. And you can find us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And that's it. Yep.
That's it, guys. Thanks for listening.
And girls.
See you next time.
Robots. Thanks for listening. Yep. All right. Scene. I don't
call
know.
on the robots. We don't want to offend the robots.
I try not to personally.